Hey guys, Rock here from Island Pond, Vermont. It's October 28th. I have a 2005 Yamaha Kodiak 400 4x4. We'll do a walk around and we'll do a test ride here. It is pretty much a stock machine other than it has the rear cargo box and somebody added some foot pegs, and there's a seat that goes right there, just a little pad that I took off to drive one person. But as you can see, it's not in too bad a shape. It is fully independent, so it's got independent rear suspension and front like most. This is the only flaw on this machine, is it does have a chunk taken out of it right there on the rear right side fender, but you know, it doesn't bother too much, especially with the rear cargo box. You don't get any of the mud or anything, but yeah, this is the machine here. It's looks like pretty much a Grizzly. Of course, the Grizzly replaced the Kodiak, and it does have a speedometer. However, there's no odometer. There's just a trip meter, which I have no idea why they would have done that. They should have put an odometer. But that's what it is. Let's hop on, take a ride. All right. We'll get on this thing. Definitely a smaller machine. This is, I don't know if I'd call it a mid-size. Probably compared to today's standards, it's like a mid-size ATV. But yeah, I'll show you. Got a key switch, very plain Jane. Like I said, there's no like digital speedometer or anything. You got neutral, reverse, park, your hot light, and four-wheel drive light. You're gonna be either in park or neutral to start it up. It is carbureted, so when it's cold, you would choke it. It's not cold right now, so we're not going to choke it. The light switch is right here on the right. You got low and high beam. Two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive switch is right here. Should kick right in probably once we move. Yeah, once you start moving, it'll kick into four-wheel. You can take it right out. So this one is kind of unique. It makes it easy to drive, but I'm curious to see how it's gonna go on some of these slow trails, because in the transmission we only got park, reverse, neutral, and forward. There's not a high and low range, you know, and this is fully automatic, so it's got a CVT, the Ultramatic transmission that Yamaha makes. So we're gonna try it out. But so forward, and that's it. It's a it's definitely low to the ground, which is nice. You know, on some certain things, the other things, you know, you don't have the ground clearance. Where right here, I'm gonna go over this slow, and yeah, we didn't hit, but we could have. I actually had one of these growing up. It was an older one. It was a 2000 Yamaha Kodiak 400. Now that one had the straight axle in the back, and it didn't even have the analog speedometer on that. But other than that, it was very similar. And oh yeah, the transmission on my machine, the older ones, they had a high and low. You rarely used low range, but it was nice, you know, if you were towing something or plowing, or even you know, going down real steep grades. It's nice to have a low range. So it's got a decent, this one's got a decent tone to it. It's certainly not overpowered, but it'll get the job done. This is the same, pretty much the same motor as I had in mine, and a liquid cooled 401 cc's. And my old one, that thing, the fan, because it is, you know, it's fan cooled to cool down your radiator, and the fan never kicked on that thing, and I just thought I never got it hot enough. It never overheated or anything. I ran that thing for years like that, so I do know these motors are tough. But anyways, I'm curious to see, because, you know, on stuff like this with my old one, I would have definitely put it in low range, and we don't have it. We just got forward, so let's try it. Gonna need four-wheel drive for sure. Like I said, the nice thing about so we got an open differential on this. We don't have a differential lock like the Grizzlies or the Kodiak 450s. You'll be able to lock the front end in. So right now, basically this tire's off the ground, and it's the only front tire turning. So we're having a hard time getting up this little bank. A little more gas will do it, but that's where a locking front differential comes in handy. It's not a deal breaker, you know, but it would be nice. Put it back in two-wheel drive. Now this machine, it's a little small, but it handles a full-size person, no problem. It just, because it's so small, low to the ground, you feel really stable with it. Even back there, when it was kind of tipping up on three wheels, I think it's because it's the lower center of gravity versus a higher, you know, high ground clearance machine. You would, you kind of feel, you just feel a little more stable on this anyways. But we'll get onto it a little bit here, and at the very end I'll do a top speed run. I'm gonna guess it's not gonna get that quick. I really don't know. The old 400 I had, I don't know, it didn't have a speedometer, but I would think it would do 50, 55 maybe, but it was winding out, and that one had a high and low, so this one I'm guessing is a little bit lower geared than the old one, but we'll find out. And as far as the whole, you know, just the one forward gear goes, you know, right there, fairly steep hill on rocks. Yeah, we hit bottom there. It goes good, you know. It had enough power to get over it, but you could tell it's kind of lugging the engine a lot more than I would have liked it to. So right now, our ground clearance, we're gonna really test out, and probably gonna get stuck up here, and I got my sneakers on, which sucks, but I will put it in low four-wheel drive. This is not too bad. It's just the rocks are real, they always hang up most machines if you straggle them just right. I know this one is not gonna do it, so we're gonna try to see. Right there would be nice to have a low range, because we're not really slipping the belt, but it might be slipping that wet clutch inside, because these basically have two different clutches for your primary. You have a wet clutch, and you have your normal snowmobile type CVT clutch. So these Yamahas are great on belts. My last machine, I never replaced the belt on it, and I never had a problem with it. I've seen some older Grizzlies that they didn't need a belt. However, well, as far as they weren't slipping or anything, or the belt didn't damage, but after, you know, you get a 25-year-old rubber drive belt, and you take it apart and you go like this the opposite way, you'll see a lot of hairline cracks. So it's definitely a good idea to replace them after that old. But But Yamaha does make a very good automatic transmission. It's got good engine braking. We'll try that up here. I can't say for sure on this one, but any of the past Yamahas I've tried out have been good. Anyways, this machine would make a great trail cruiser for most people. It's a little small for, you know, anybody over 6 foot, but it's manageable. The bigger you are, the more you might feel comfortable on a, you know, like a big Polaris Sportsman, or maybe the Grizzly 660, 700 version. But most people, I mean, anybody can have fun on this thing for sure. Just, you might feel a little cramped. You know, I'm kind of bent over a little bit, whereas opposed to, I would like the handlebars a little higher. Just personal preference. So as you can see, going downhill here, let go of the gas, no brakes. I mean, I have brakes, but I'm not using them, and it slows right down. That's that engine braking working, and it works good. You have front brakes over here on the right handle, and rear on the left, and then your foot brake is rear also. This has disc brakes all the way around. This machine rides quite a bit better than my old 400 because that had the we'll get on a little bit higher pace, try her out, but that had the swing arm in the back, and now we'll get onto her. Doing like 35, maybe 40. Couldn't really tell. The sun's kind of in my eyes. So it feels very comfortable at those speeds, you know, cornering. This is full throttle right here. Like I said, it's not a powerhouse, but it's got enough power to get things done. And we'll get up to the road and I'll do a top speed test. I'll look at the speedometer, but I'm not sure how accurate those are. So I do have the GPS running in the background on this camera. I can't see it right now, but once I check the video footage, I will be able to. Alright, so yes, we'll do a little bit of an acceleration and top speed run. A little cool that today. Should have wore some gloves, I guess. But, alright, here we go. Full throttle. 30, 35, there's 40 on the speedo, looks like maybe 45. She's got, shows about 46, maybe 47 on the speedometer. I'm not sure the actual speed we'll see on the GPS, but yeah. Anyways, that was the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Check out some of my other stuff on there. This machine will be for sale. Probably gonna be around the $2,000 range. I'm thinking should be able to sell it for that. But yeah. All right. Have a good one.